Just one take. All right.
Okay, cool. Well, here we are at London. Dr. Bandler is running the practitioner, the master practitioner, and I have the pleasure to be with the trainer, John Hedge, right? And John is a very familiar face because the first time I came here a couple of years ago, I believe it was 2013 or 12, John was among and is among the assistant team of Dr. Bandler, Catherine, and John. So, John, the first question that I normally ask, how did you get in the world of NLP? If there is a world of NLP.
Right, how did I get into it? So, a long time ago, I was a musician back in the 80s, early 90s. So I kind of got into meditation and a few other things, and working as an entertainer. Then I became a magician, so mid-90s.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, well, that was always my hobby, but I started working professionally doing that. Okay. And so I was interested in kind of hypnosis. Then I found about NLP. I also went to a lecture a long time ago, back in the 90s, that a performer here called Darren Brown did. And he was talking about his use of NLP. So I started reading. I bought all of Richard's books that I could find, apart from two of them I couldn't get. I bought all of his books, started reading all of this stuff, and very quickly realised that yes, it can make me a better performer, a better entertainer, but that is just such a small part of what it could do that really piqued my interest in the whole personal development, personal change, transformation business, if you like. So I studied hypnosis.
But your first encounter with NLP, as we know it, was with the society or was it outside the society?
It was with the society, yeah, with Richard's books. I mean, I learned loads of stuff from his books, put it into practice.
And how was it? How was your experience at your first seminar as
my first seminar?
Yeah, as a participant.
Transformational, amazing. It was here in London with Richard and Paul McKenna, Michael Breen, and I'd read 20 books of Richard's, and I thought I knew a lot about NLP. And it wasn't until maybe day 2 or 3 of sitting in the seminar that I realised, wow, how little I knew, and how important the experiential part of it really is, the doing.
Exactly.
Of it, not just.
Yeah, because yesterday I was talking to John, and we used an example that you can take a parachute course online, 7-day, and you can even get your certificate, but you're only going to learn actually when you jump out of a plane and land alive. Yeah, sure. So, in your years that you have been practicing NLP, because one of my thoughts is you can be a practitioner, master practitioner, a trainer, or master trainer. And the thing is that you're always a practitioner because you're always practicing, right? So normally when you work with a client or you work in a company or just talking to a friend or a girlfriend, normally we cherish somebody that had a before and an after moment that you like amazed that you actually helped that person reach that desired state. Do you have one that you can share with us?
Do you know, probably the 2 days after my practitioner, I had a friend of mine who smoked cigarettes.
Okay.
He smoked a packet of rolling papers a day.
Okay.
There's about 50 of those in a packet, right? He smoked a packet of papers a day, went through I don't know how much rolling tobacco. He'd been smoking since he was 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he'd been smoking almost 25 years. And 2 or 3 days after my practitioner was the date that I thought, yeah, we're gonna go do this with him. So I set up that day. He was a bit of an old hippie, so I took him to this local stone circle. This was May, so it was nice and sunny-ish and warm. So I took him up to these standing stones, and I had him choose the stone that we would sit next to and work. And the whole way up the walk, this hill, I was eliciting big positive states and anchoring them in.
Okay, cool.
Really without him really knowing what was going on. Sat him down doing the stone he chose, and I mean, to this day, he still emails me from time to time saying how, you know, I've extended his life because he no longer smokes and hasn't smoked for 15 years, you know.
It's amazing.
Longer than 15 years now. And just how his health is back, and it's just, hair stands up on his arms whenever he talks about the subject.
Yeah, of course, because it was a life-changing event.
Yeah, life-changing event. And another one, really early on in my career of change work with people, was I worked with somebody who had really, really bad anxiety.
Okay.
And I bumped into him, I just did one session with him, I bumped into him 6 months later just walking down the street. I said, hey, you know, how you been since, it was like he fell off the radar, you know, just a bit, how you been since you worked? And he stopped and he paused and he said, Joe, I haven't even thought about it since the session. Hang on a minute, I haven't had it completely, just not even, it was so, because this guy was so, had so much anxiety and so much worry and stuff, and then he just hadn't, in the last 6 months, but he hadn't even noticed he hadn't had anxiety.
Yeah, that's the
Which is
thing.
a really odd thing.
Yeah, that's the thing when you do a very nice change work, that, for example, if somebody had an allergy to dust, and we're talking the other day that sometimes it's just a post-hypnotic suggestion in that moment, and after you work with them and you get a great result, they forget what they had, in a sense. So it's like they never had it.
Yeah.
So life is just better without remembering what you had.
Yeah.
So it's just great. It's just great. And you know, one thing that I love about the society, right, is that we learn from the source. We learn from the source, and for the last, you should know this answer better than me. For the last 17, 18, 19 years, there have been a development of coaching. Okay, coaching. What are your thoughts, your inner thoughts, on a coach that doesn't know NLP? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of persons watch this on Facebook, on YouTube, and it's if I can find a beautiful word, I probably won't. You're missing so much without knowing NLP as a coach. But what are your thoughts on that? A coach that doesn't know NLP, or most of them, when I talk to them, I'll just say in my country, they say, well, yeah, we use some techniques of NLP. And I was like, well, you should read the first book of Dr. Bandler, so you know where you came from. Yeah?
Yeah, well, first off, I wouldn't personally go to a coach who doesn't know NLP, even to be honest, if it was a coach that was coaching me to run a marathon.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I would still want that person to know. So the techniques, that's what you find, I guess, a lot of the time with some of the coaches, they know some of the techniques. But when you have that understanding of the skills that the techniques are built from, that, I mean, that's where it's at, really, you know, isn't it, with a coach being able to make transformation. The techniques are great until the time that they don't work, you know.
And you notice you're just following a recipe.
Yeah, just following a recipe, yeah, exactly, right. You don't have that ability to adapt and change. But it's so much more than that. It's all the rapport kind of stuff. It's all the being able to understand how the person's thinking, the structure of their thoughts, and where the blocks are, and where the problems are, you know, in moving that person forward. Almost more so than the techniques, if you like. Yeah. So a coach that hasn't learned NLP from the source, or from someone very close to the source, I mean, I think they're missing a huge chunk of information, and they're limiting themselves in what they can do to help other people, I think, you know, and like I say, even if that was an athletics coach, you know, coaching me to do an Ironman or something, I'd still want them to be able to build that image of the Iron, of me completing the thing in my mind.
Why don't you go over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's very important, I think.
Yeah, I ask you this question because there is so much marketing out there, and there's going to be a time that you're going to buy Cheerios or cornflakes and you're going to have a diploma, you're a coach, right? Okay. So one of the things that I love to do when I interview people from the society, I've done John Laval, Adrian Brown, Chris Cummings, now you, is that one of the things that I really love is to put on the map not only the difference, right, between coaching without NLP and with NLP, because I know colleagues of ours that don't call themselves a coach. They say, no, I'm an NLP practitioner, and even though they're master trainers of NLP. So once the coach realizes that almost 90% of their program is based on Dr. Bandler's work, what they call powerful questions. For us, obviously, the meta model, right? So, John, if you would like to share, like a tip that you don't know a lot of NLP, you don't know nothing about coaching, but a tip for somebody that's watching, right, that can improve their lifestyle, health, relationship, I don't know, memorizing, what would you share with them?
Right. The biggest tip for somebody who doesn't know NLP, my biggest tip would be to buy one of Richard's latest books.
The latest,
right?
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest tip is to recognize that you're in control of your state. Nobody can cause you to feel stressed or angry or annoyed or wound up. That's your response to what they did, and you have a choice to respond differently. Totally. And the way that you manage that is by changing the structure of your thinking. Not so much what you're thinking, but the way that you're thinking.
How you're thinking of.
So you make the thoughts that are unpleasant, you make them smaller. You make them quieter. You know, the thoughts that aren't big enough, you make bigger, which then changes the feelings that you have, which ultimately draw you towards doing an activity or push you away from doing an activity. The uncomfortable sensations that stop you doing something you know you really should be doing.
Exactly. Because what you're actually saying is one phrase that Dr. Bandler said, I believe was in March when I was doing design human engineering. This is the difference when you think with a purpose instead of thinking on purpose. When you're doing it on purpose, you're just doing it without conscious. With a purpose, it's like today on the exercise, when the person put their thoughts, the images, and took control.
Sure, so I'm driving the bus.
Yeah. So John has been to Venezuela, right? You were been to Margarita Island?
I've been to Margarita a couple of times, yeah, beautiful island.
Well,
absolutely.
Look at this. Here we have what we call in Venezuela un palo de lluvia. So this is kind of like a bamboo and has seeds inside. And the thing is that it imitates the rain. So here you go, a little gift. So you can have it at home. And well, it's a good anchor so you can remember us from Venezuela.
What was it called again?
It's a raining stick.
And in Venezuela?
Palo de lluvia. It imitates.
Palo de lluvia.
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 Palo, stick. Lluvia, rain.
Palo, lluvia.
Exactly. So it imitates the rain. So you put it very slowly and kind of like calms.
Beautiful. Wow.
Thank you so much, John, for your time. And if you have the opportunity to come to London, believe me, this guy knows so much. So you can learn so much from him. Okay? Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.